Now, before we move on, one more question about this. So the relationship between a raid log and the contract do you find in this context, is the raid log a vehicle we use to read through the contract and try to pull out the different assumptions and dependencies and put those in the raid log? Or is a raid log a separate attachment or an exhibit that's a part of the contract in your experience?
So it can be both. Normally, if you are bidding for a government contract and it's a large government contract, you will have a agreed raid log between both parties. If, however, it is not agreed before contract signature, then it will be agreed quite quickly thereafter. Personally, I like to have a review of the contract, and I like to introduce what I call a contract toolkit, which basically is an obligations register to start with, whereby every obligation in the contract is assigned either to someone in your organization or someone in the other organization to manage and to report on, so that you can check that all these obligations are being met. But if the organization doesn't use obligations registers, then I would transfer all of those obligations or requirements for things to happen onto my risk register and say, these are the things that have to happen to be compliant with the contract. And if not, you're in breach. And it's a fundamental thing that someone has got to be managing. And the problem that you have with large, complex contracts is that you have a 500-page contract. No one is going to be able to observe every single obligation in that contract on their own and remember every date that needs to happen. So you have to put it into either a raid log or an obligations register or some sort of register that you can monitor those things on an ongoing basis. And for me, raid logs have been very useful. Obligations registers are very useful. It depends on what systems the company operates to pick up those ideas.